This is, in fact, Danny Bonaduce, and I am the life coach. Call me up right now, 1-800-252-1025, or put your thoughts into an email at lifecoach@kzok.com. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce Women. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Hey, let us talk to Kel in Seattle. Good morning, Kel. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
What can I do for you? Kel, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What can I do for you?
So I'm newly married, and halfway through planning our wedding, my husband's father passed away really suddenly.
Right.
So he got really depressed, and this has been going on for, 6 months or so. But with his depression, he started drinking alcohol a lot, hiding it, just like really over the top.
Yeah, don't have that. Don't start off with that.
Yeah, he's really angry all the time. He's mean, and, his family and I have asked him to get help, but it doesn't seem like he wants to get help.
Well, how long has he been drinking to exception to where you guys care about it?
We started noticing, right around the time his dad passed away.
Here's what you're saying to me, and you're talking to a real dyed-in-the-wool alcoholic here. You don't just get to join my club without really, fitting some bills. And here's the thing that I'm hearing: his dad died, so he started drinking. So for me, I don't need a reason, ever. I never needed a reason to drink. I drank for whatever reason there was. I'll take my dead dad. I'll take, my live mom. I'll take my kids. I'll take my ex-wife. I'll take people I don't know, but I'll drink. So here's what I'm thinking. Did you ever think you had a problem with alcohol before?
No.
Yeah, here's what I got to tell you. Here's my theory on this. And if I'm either wrong, call back, or I'll give you two kinds of advice. The one thing I will tell you is wait. Give it a minute. The guy's father just died. The problem that I'm getting, because I don't mind a drunk. I don't like that he's a mean drunk. I don't like that he's not being nice to Kel. That's a problem for me. But what I'm hearing is you can start any sentence with this. So his dad died, and whatever comes after "and," you kind of get to do for a little while. So what I would do is, you're his new wife. He loves you more than anything, and you get to sit down with him when he's sober, please. And you say, "This is a concern," and you've told me you're kind of doing that. And you say, "You know what?" And you can say you called me if you want to, or don't. But you can say, "Your dad just died. I understand this, but can we curb this up by, say, February? Can you go back to not nearly drinking this much?" And he'll say okay. And then you watch him in February, because I think you can build up to, if not alcoholism, being a hassle drinker. If by the time you get to February, if you take my advice, and he's gone from being, he gets kind of mad, but it's okay, to he's really taught himself how to drink, that's a problem. But I don't think you make yourself into an alcoholic. And as an alcoholic who's had all sorts of therapies about it, I think I'm right on this. Sit your husband down when he's sober and say, "Listen, hon, I get it. Your dad was a sweet guy, and I think you're drinking too much for that, and I want you to stop drinking so much. But if you need to right now to get through it, all right, but what time will you stop being in grieving? When do you get to be done grieving and drink less?" And I think he'll go, oh, you're right. February, March 2nd, March 3rd, March 9th. But whatever day he picks, he's got to back off the bottle. And I don't think your husband's an alcoholic, or you'd have known a lot earlier. I think you can say, all right, grieve, and then don't drink so much, sweetheart. I love you. And by the way, you're nasty when you drink. And that's why you have to have this conversation when he's sober. Hey, thanks, Gal, and good luck. And I'm pretty sure I'm right on all that.
If you've got a question for the life coach, dial 800-252-1025. Any kind of problem, Danny can help you. Just make the call. Abby in Bellevue, you're on with Danny Bonaduce.
Hey, Abby, how are you?
Hi, how are you guys doing today?
Doing very well. So what can I do for you this morning?
I just started a new job, and I'm dyslexic, first off.
Right.
and my boss is kind of a grammar Nazi, and I sent her an email yesterday, and she came to the front and confronted me about it and everything, and it makes me really, really nervous to send her emails or anything at all written, because she's really just adamant about everything being perfect.
Right.
She was originally going to be an English teacher, so that should kind of give you an idea.
I'll give you one thing right off the bat, and then I want to talk to you about your dyslexia. I'll give you something right off the bat, and that is, here's the one thing you can almost always do. Sometimes it becomes ridiculous, but don't end a sentence in a preposition. That's the one that drives people crazy. If she's a grammar Nazi, that's going to drive her crazy. But there's sometimes you almost have to have end your sentence in a preposition. It was Winston Churchill who said there was a note going around Parliament saying, we're killing the English language and we invented it. No more ending sentences in with a preposition. And Winston Churchill said, yes, that is something up with which I will not put. Pretty good, Winston. I don't know if you really had that one on you. So there's an easy way to go. It's right there. The start is don't end sentences in a preposition. Now I'd like to talk to you about your dyslexia and how you get by. I am dyslexic. I was taken off the set of The Partridge Family. That's a TV show I used to do, if you didn't know that. And I didn't get a pre-advanced copy of my script like we always did. It comes the night before, and I would read it with my mother, and I would just smoke through the script, no problem. Nobody knew that I really couldn't read it until we got the script and we didn't get it in advance, and I would, hey, Mr. Kincaid. So it's kind of severe with me. How do you get through everyday life being dyslexic? I'm going to call it cheating. What maneuvers do you make to not have it come up and be a huge problem for you?
I use spell check on Word, and I make sure to look up the proper grammar for the emails before I send them to her.
Right.
But once in a while, things do get past me, and that's what's bothering her.
Well, you know what? They shouldn't bother her. Every now and again, they get by everybody. It always gets by somebody. And if you do the last 6 to 8 emails you got from her and check the grammar on her, you'll be shocked. Almost, because you forget what the rules are. The rules are kind of a pain in the ass. If you want perfect grammar, it doesn't even seem intuitive anymore. It's very weird.
But do you think her boss knows? I mean, it seems unfair.
Great point. You know what? It's her dyslexia, and she's got to get through with it, but that's a fair question. Abby, does your boss know you're dyslexic?
I did tell her, yes.
And what did she say?
She just said, do what you can to get past it, but these need to be, they need to be basically perfect before you send them out.
All right. Well, you know what? There's a thing. We give away, or we have a thing on the show called Dragon Nuance Naturally Speaking Dictation software. And it is, and I'm highly recommending that you go get it. It is, you just type into a little microphone. Just talk into a little microphone, and it will do once you're done with it, because it's hard to get perfect grammar, because all you do is speak. Pretty soon you forget there's rules. It's just you talking. But then it's got a grammar part of the software, and you can hit grammar.
Oh, and it'll fix your grammar for you.
It'll fix the grammar.
Wow.
Oh, that thing will do anything. That changed my life.
We're going to be giving away a copy just after 8 o'clock today, tomorrow, during Where Has Sarah's Beaver Been? We're going to give a copy away.
And here's the thing, Abby, and I want to leave you with this, because you can beat it. As a person who has gotten through life with dyslexia, I know you know how to, whatever the shortcuts that you can do. I did a thing, I'm sure you can find it on the internet and stuff. There's something called Grammar for Dummies.
Oh.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really good. There's a book. Now, the last time I saw it, this will give you an idea, the last time I did it, it was in cassette form. But I'm sure it's on CDs. But it's called Grammar for Dummies. And I would suggest you get this, and they'll give you more things to get around your grammar. So good luck, and welcome to the neighborhood there, Abby.
That sounds like a terrible boss.
Sounds like a terrible boss, but I will tell you that Abby, she's probably really sharp, because it ain't easy to dart around dyslexia. I don't know how severe it is. You know what I started doing to beat the parameters of my dyslexia when I was young? Because they didn't have anything called books on tape. I went to the Braille Society, and I forget now how I weaseled blind people out of their books. I feel bad. But I got them to give me books on cassette tape back then. There's things you can do to beat any angle. That's why I'm the life coach. There's things you can do to play any angle.
Yeah. If you've got a question for the life coach, 800-252-1025. As you've heard, Danny can help you out with any kind of problem you have. We've got an email from...
No matter what you're calling for. Get it? That's bad grammar. Calling for you.
You can't. No.
It's a preposition, man. Didn't you listen to me? For is a preposition.
Got an email from Rachel in Seattle. I recently learned I'm pregnant. My husband and I are delighted, but I have a problem. My job requires a lot of travel, and I'm a nervous flyer. I usually take a sedative and have a drink or two, but now I can't because I'm pregnant. I have a trip coming up.
You can if it was 1960. That's all I'm saying.
I have a trip coming up in a couple of weeks. We are going to follow our typical practice of not telling anybody until after 3 months. I don't want to tell my boss, but I don't want to take this trip because I'm afraid to fly. What do you suggest I do? I don't want to tell my boss because we want to wait for the 3 months and just in case something happens, but I want to get out of this trip. What do you think I should do?
Plus, I'll tell you this. I don't like to throw any of my weaknesses. If I have a weakness or a frailty, something if I'm afraid of blank, I'm not telling my boss automatically. I'm going to postpone that as long as I can because I am all powerful when it comes to my boss. Nothing bothers me. I am unshakable. And then if flying comes in and I just can't, then I'll tell my boss, but not 1 second before. You hold on to that as long as you can. So here's what I'm going to tell you, because, there's a lot of people that are going to say when you're pregnant, you can't drink alcohol or take drugs. I don't know what kind of people those are, but you shouldn't, I guess. I know smart people that say it, so I'm going to have to say, don't take drugs and alcohol while you're pregnant. So here's what I'm going to say. One, and this is going to sound mean, but tough it out. Get on that. And there's a thing where you can't board a plane. It's a real thing. I forget what it's called. But people if you're under arrest and have to be extradited back to Los Angeles and you start screaming, they can't make you fly. It's a real thing. So if you can't do it, you end up screaming, then don't do it. But if you don't end up screaming, tough up. Go for it. And just be horrified. And if you feel, by the way, that that's doing damage to the baby, then don't do it. But I think you'll be surprised. And I'll tell you something that may shock you. No airplane ever has been brought down by turbulence. I mean, when I'm on a plane, it starts to go like crazy. I'm thinking, this is why they crash. That's not why they crash. There's some reason they crash, but that ain't it. And having said all that, hypnosis. Go get hypnotized. And I know a lot of people that have turned to it successfully to quit smoking, claustrophobia, and to fly. So try hypnosis and see if you can't get on a plane. And I want you to do everything you can do to get on the plane and other things and not freak out, because I don't want to give your boss this. I don't want to give anybody, and I know you didn't complain about anything, but I like you. You got a new marriage going. You got a life. You're starting a family. You know what? Get through it. Tough up. Go on the plane. A bunch of normal people that aren't nearly as good as you. It's a whole plane full of people who aren't as good as you. Get on it.
Got an email from Robert in Bellevue who wants to get advice from the life coach.
Yes.
I'm attracted to a coworker, but because of the nature of our jobs, dating isn't a possibility. However, I'm about to give notice and move to another company. I'm hoping this could open the door to asking out my coworker. How do you suggest I signal to her that I want to do more than just keep in touch?
Well, first of all, she knows. You've got to know that she knows. What makes you so special. Of course she knows. If there was a girl, and I promise this is true. I'm right about this because I've done it before in the past. I'm always right. I've never once been, because here's my biggest fear. I told this to you, Sarah, that I've never asked a woman to dance. Ever.
Right.
Because I'm the fear of rejection. You're going to walk up to a girl in a club for the most part and say, hey, you want to dance? Have her say no. She's sitting there with her friends, and then you have to walk back in front of your friends, and everybody knows you're a loser. So anytime I've ever thought a girl and a coworker, and it's been a couple of coworkers, have liked me, I have been 100% right. I've never let's say this is all about me and Sarah, and I got to signal Sarah that I'd like this to be more than just a friendship. I will tell you, I would take that to the grave if I was absolutely positive. She wants this, right? I'm not alone here. She's sending me signals, and I'm pretty sure I'm right here. She's sending you the signals that make you feel this way. Everything you feel about her, she feels about you too. So I don't know why you say signal. I don't think whatever your job is that says you can't date or whatever it is, you can talk. I think you can go up to her and say, hey, Becky, I'm going to be moving to this other company. You want to stay in touch? That's not that rough, because even if she says no to that, you didn't ask her to dance. You didn't ask her to the prom.
Well, plus you're not going to work together anymore, so you ask her out, she says no, and then you run away.
Well, if the fear of embarrassment's the thing, she still knows you failed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this way, you didn't ask her anything. But you know what? Everybody's sending these signals. Like you want to send signals. Here's your signal. Hey, man, I'm going to this new company. Do you want to stay in touch? That's your signal. That's almost, you said it. You told her. But you haven't been a loser to have her say, no, I don't want to touch you. You didn't ask her to the prom, like I said. So just ask her casually, hey, I've enjoyed our time together. You want to talk to me when I'm down the street at this new company where I make yoga mats, and I could give you a yoga mat, and we'd stretch, and it would be bitching. All right, maybe I digress. But she knows. Just tell her, hey, that's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. I appreciate the phone calls and emails. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce Women. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.